So what I'm doing here, I have a Docker container. Okay, so I'm running two basically servers here. One is Kafka Docker, Kafka server basically, and one is Zookeeper. So how you can actually, get these things up and running in your system. So 1 second. Yeah. So it has Docker compose files and all. Just take pull that source, add your composer file, and then run the composer file. So it will run both the instance for you, like your Kafka server as well as Kafka broker, basically. Okay. So it will run both, and then you can write your client code, or you can use any tools also to connect to your server. You have to basically create your partitions, and I will show you how we can create it from code, and then we can in real time we can send and receive messages basically. Okay. So what I have done here, basically I cloned it and I added one extra file. So I'll share that, and this is the command no, to start up the entire thing, like Docker compose, and then I have added actually one extra compose file and up. So once you run this file, I mean this command, so your Kafka thing, right? Your Zookeeper and Kafka should be running. And how you will come to know, Docker PS command will give you the details. So if you just go to run Docker PS, so you can see here it was started 14 hours before. I mean I started it yesterday night, so it is showing 14 hours before, and those two are basically running for me. And if you are using Windows Docker desktop, then you can see your Kafka Docker is running. Anytime you don't want it, you can stop it. Once you stop it, you can rerun it again. Okay. So this is how I'm actually starting the Kafka. Again, I have only one broker, so I have not created any cluster here. Let's see the code basically. Okay, this is Python code. Let me show you the Java code. So this is the producer. Okay, so if you see here, you need to give the port and IP, right? Where is your no Kafka broker is running? So it is running in 9092. So you have to give that, and it is actually just adding some random no variables in a properties, and it is sending that properties to the broker basically. So here if you see UFO sites, no this is the name they have given to the topic. Okay, so you can give any other name also, no issues. So you can change the name of the topic as per your this thing. And yeah, so it is basically sending that particular property. Okay, so see if you have here some no random data, it is creating and sending. Even you can send any text data also. There is no limit, like the way you structure your data, any data you can send. So once you send, producer no produces the data. So after that, if you run your consumer, you can see no data coming and in the consumer side. Okay, so Python also code is very simple. If you see okay, so this is producer. Suppose I want to produce something, just a new topic, right? So you can give any topic name, like API testing demo, and then a producer will connect to a server. So what is the IP and the port we have to give, and producer.send. In Java also it is same thing. Like if you see Java API looks similar. Producer.send data. Python also it is same. Send to this particular topic and whatever message you want to send. Like I want to send hello message. You can hello from AI testing. So you can send that data. And here is the consumer basically. So I have given that whatever Java topic has that name, right? It's the same name, and just connect to that topic. And then you can loop through that consumer to get the data. Okay. And one important thing here, in Python, yeah, I'm using producer.flush so that it flush out the things from that object, and then object can keep on sending data. So this is the code look like. Okay. And let me very quickly run one new topic so that it is clear to you. Okay. Let's run the consumer first. Now there's nothing, right? So this is a fresh topic. So if I run here, producer. So consumer got the message, right? So if I want to run this again, it is getting the same message again. Okay. So this is very simple actually. Now once you have the topic handler, right? So you know which topic you want to consume from. You can consume very easily. Same way here in the Java code also, what it is, only the data is different basically, some random data it is sending. So I'll show you that as well. And copying this. I will use this consumer, okay, to consume that data. So I'll stop this. See, it got some data because I executed that before, right? So since there was some data from the previous run, so it immediately got that data. Okay. Let me stop it and see, and I can rerun this producer. So if I run, if you see here, it is sending some records. Basically, I'm sending, I think, 100 records. So you can see some data here. Let's see if I are getting the same data in our producer. So clear it. You can see it is 2236.4, right? So here also, yeah, you can see it is same, minus 16 and 90. Here also you can see minus 16 and 90. Okay. So this is the way, we create consumer and producer. Now suppose, I'll give you some example, like, in real time, how I have used Kafka in testing, basically. So I was testing an application which was actually, which was a consumer, basically. Okay. So which was a consumer, and it was expecting data from a producer. And the producer was basically a hardware. Okay. So it used to send real-time data to the consumer. Now, since when we were testing it, that producer was not ready. Okay. So consumer code was there and consumer code was ready. So how I have tested, basically, I created a mock producer like this, from code, and I was sending the data to that exactly same topic, no, where the consumer was listening basically. Okay, so suppose I want some 100 records in that no, topic. So I created those 100 records using, I use JMeter. You can use simple code also, Java code also. So from there, I was sending those records and how much ever records you want, right? So in that topic, and I verified the functionality. So in your case, basically similar kind of scenarios you will get, like you may need to create your consumer class or producer class based on your functionality. So how you will be creating? So you can use maybe tools like JMeter, or you can write a client using Java code and integrate it. So option is there. Yeah, you cannot do Kafka testing using Postman, so Postman doesn't support it. So basically there are other tools, but mainly, yeah, I think Karate DSL supports it. And there is a tool called Zero Code. I will share the link. So Zero Code also supports Kafka testing. Yeah, and the simplest form, you can write your own code, something like this. No, so that you know the broker, right? So in your implementation, you will be knowing the broker, you will be knowing the broker ID port and all, right? So you give that broker ID port, and what syntax the data will come, or data will publish, or you can subscribe it. So and that and all you can control from your code basically. So you need only this, right? So you see the packages, Kafka client, you need basically. So I'll show you that JMeter, and I think SOAP UI also provide a connector for Kafka.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, Postman doesn't have any Kafka connectors actually. This is the dependency basically, Kafka client. So remember this, I will share the link to this Kafka example. So in case you want to create your own code for testing, right? So you can use this Kafka client. Okay, this is from Apache Kafka only. They are only providing this client. In Java, you can use this. Python have its own libraries like Kafka consumer and Kafka producer. So from the Kafka package, we can import those things. Okay. But yeah, you may come across this kind of applications actually. So since nowadays many people are many products are actually using Kafka. I have seen, at least I got many requests, like asking for how we can test Kafka and all. So at least from a trend, right, industry trend, this is very very important to understand. Maybe you will not do implementation, at least from a testing point of view, right? Suppose your project is using Kafka and you need to basically test it, right? So how you will test it, you should know basically. Like you have to create topics, you have to subscribe, or you have to produce, right? So those kind of things you should know. You can play around with this code. I can even check on the JMeter Kafka. I think I'll share that as well. JMeter Kafka has a, yeah. Yeah, it has a config element where you can actually create your messages and all. Sampler basically, and once you have the sampler, you can send your messages. Both like sending and receiving from JMeter you can do. And there is one another tool. This is called Offset Explorer. So this is mainly for Kafka. But yeah, personal use, only free for personal use. Otherwise, it is paid. So use it with permission from your organizations. It has binaries for Windows and Mac and Linux. So I have not used it, but I could see this is recommended by many people in Stack Overflow and all for using, doing Kafka testing. This is another tool. It has a UI basically. So the way we are doing from code, right? So I showed you the code example. So it has an UI. From the UI, you can send and receive the packages. I mean your data basically.